Mixed martial arts, MMA, we call it. How well would a Kung Fu expert or an Aikido expert or anyone else fare against a mixed martial artist? Someone asked me that question. They wanted me to respond to that. And I'm going to say this. First of all, we have to look at why we are there in the first place. Why are you competing in the MMA match in the first place? And I have found that people participate in mixed martial arts because they want to make a name for themselves. They want to become popular, gain notoriety, win a monetary purse, win a trophy or some sort of belt and prestige, and be on magazine covers and possibly do endorsements and commercials and things of this sort. Very rarely have I ever seen anyone in MMA step in the match, step in the ring in the octagon that has actually honored their martial arts system or style. One person that comes to mind that I can say that I actually have a lot of respect for, not to say that there are not anymore, Jean Pierre, the guy from Canada. I have a great deal of respect for him. George St. Pierre, that's his name. I'm sorry, I don't know where I got John from. I was thinking of another fighter. George St. Pierre, very humble man. And it's not that many more. The vast majority of martial arts figures that I've seen in the MMA have been guys with huge egos, talking a lot of stuff, such as McGregor. He's one of them. It's a bunch of them. Anytime you see someone that's supposed to be a martial artist coming to an arena where he's going to or she's going to receive a money purse and some endorsements and all of these prizes, mainly cash prizes, and they don't bow, at least not a traditional bow when they come in. They don't respect the opponent, the person, the individual on the other side of them. They start trash talking. They start using a lot of profanity. Even in the pre-fights, oftentimes when they're being interviewed, they're talking back and forth to each other a bunch of trash talk. And even almost coming to blows, and sometimes coming to blows before the match even takes place. Those, my friend, are not martial artists. They're something else. Irrespective of anything that they've trained in, because anybody can take up a karate class and have excuse my expression, a piss poor attitude. But it takes an individual that has some sort of humility going in, who embraces the essence of what martial arts is all about. And that's not many of them. So, when we say mixed martial arts, what are you displaying, actually? So let's face it, mixed martial arts that we see on television, on cable, the pride fights, the octagon, all of this other kind of stuff, all this has become is just simply a thing of entertainment. It is to garner money from the people who watch. People like, in today's time, they like violence. They like blood. They like guts. They like gore. And they, in a legal sense, are providing that to people on cable television, using the martial arts as the vehicle to generate millions and even billions of dollars in some respects over years, over time, and they call it mixed martial arts. Has absolutely, positively nothing to do with martial arts. Now, notwithstanding, it doesn't mean that there are not some guys that participate in the mixed martial arts are good practitioners, and that there are many of them who are in great shape, great athletes, great jiu-jitsu guys, or Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys, or great karate guys, or Muay Thai guys. It doesn't mean that they're not good, because there are many of them that are really, really good. Some of them have excellent and superb skill and technique. However, the purpose is the question. The purpose of being there is the question. It's not to promote your martial arts. It is to promote you and your ego, your swollen ego. You are trying to become famous. And that's it. Martial artists don't seek fame. They absolutely positively don't seek fame, because martial arts is a way of life. And your attitude stays out the door. When you walk into any arena, you respect it. You respect the competitor on the other side of the ring or the octagon. You never go in there as I'm a big I am, and I'm better than anyone, and I can beat all of those guys and so forth. But if you watch these martial arts events, these MMA fights, that's all you ever see. Someone beating someone down and bloodying the other guy up, saying that, you know, I kicked his behind, I'll show you in the ring that I'm the best and nobody can beat me. I've won this many fights. If that's not ego, ladies and gentlemen, let's pause for a second. What is it? What is it then? Karate, when I was a child, I learned it's a way of life. And you're supposed to respect not only yourself, it begins here, but you're supposed to respect every other living human being. Respect. You're supposed to have courtesy. You're supposed to have honor and integrity. Where is that in mixed martial arts when you watch the fights? You don't see it. I can count probably on one hand the gentlemen that I have seen display that. And George St. Pierre is one of the ones that I can pull out. One of a few. But the majority of them, not at all. So now, getting back to the original question. Can an Aikido man do well against an MMA fighter? Or a Kung Fu man do well against an MMA fighter in that arena? We must first remember that there are rules. Now, if you're talking about in a street fight, and for some odd reason a Kung Fu guy finds himself standing up against an MMA fighter, or an Aikido individual standing up against an MMA fighter, they both stand an equal chance of defending and defeating against that opponent that's an MMA fighter. Being a mixed martial artist does not make you the cream of the crop. There are men who only study one discipline, and they can fail or destroy an individual who has studied a dozen disciplines. It just depends on that particular day, and that particular individual, and that particular individual's training and his discipline. That's all it's based on. It's not based on what you study. A boxer can beat a karate man, and a karate man can beat a boxer. An Aikido guy can beat a jiu-jitsu guy, and a jiu-jitsu guy can beat a Kung Fu guy. A Kung Fu guy can beat a Hapkido guy, and a Hapkido guy can beat a Judo guy. It doesn't matter. Why are we even comparing these things when all of these disciplines are supposed to be based on the foundation of, guess what? Discipline. And part of that discipline is, I don't want to fight anybody unless I'm protecting myself and defending myself against someone who is infringing upon my rights, who's trying to do bodily harm to me or my loved ones or my family. That's the only time you would be using martial arts in the first place. Anything else, note what I'm saying, anything else is ego. And when you have your ego preceding you, then you've lost all comprehension all respect for what martial arts is all about. And you can't really call yourself a martial artist because you're something else. That's it. And that's all.